Hello, this is Mrs. Peterson, and I'm going to show you how to make your second present. There's so many options here, you guys, but the first way I'm going to show you is to just change up the one you already have, right? So here's what we're going to do. I already have my Mrs. Peterson present one open right here, and it's a PNG, right? I'm going to go over and I'm going to open up the new color scheme, and I'm just going to do that by dropping it in Photoshop, and it's going to open up. Remember, this is the right size. Duplicate my background, Command J or Control J. I'm going to make a new layer. This is the half moon down here. I'm going to select the solid color, and I'm just going to choose white because I feel like white is the best way to go here. And then I'm going to add myself a couple layers. We'll get to naming them. And on this layer right above the white, I'm going to write clear, because remember, I'll need that later. And then here, I'm going to write present one, right? And then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go back over to my present one, which is here. Okay, remember when you're in here, you're going to have to duplicate your background, Command J. And I have a layer selected here. I'm going to go up to my rectangular marquee tool. It's this top one right here. Grab it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the marquee tool and grab the whole present. All right. I can go up here and edit and copy, or I can do Command copy or Control copy depending on your computer. Right? I like to do Command C. You might do Control C. I'm going to go back over to my new document. I'm going to do Command V or Control V, and now my first present is in my second document. So this would be a good time to save. So File, Save As. This is going to be a Photoshop document, and that's all right. So I'm going to call it Mrs. I'm having trouble typing today. Mrs. P. Present. Boy, I'm having troubles today. Sorry. Present 2. All right. And I'm going to save it. You can save it in your desktop, save it in your folder. I'm saving it in my tutorial folder. And I'm going to say, okay. So I'm going to make my Photoshop a little bit bigger so you can watch what's happening. And this is super great. Okay, I just magnified it so you can see it better. And this layer that I'm on right now, first of all, I'm going to change my present, you guys. So how am I going to change it? I'm going to change the way it looks and change the shape of it. So I'm going to do Command T or Control T. That is for transform. And what I want to do is I want to make it a wide present or a skinny present. This time I'm going to make it a super wide present. Okay. And this has now become my pattern. All right. So if I like it, I press the check mark. If I don't like what I did, I press the prohibition mark. It's a cancel. Okay. But I like it, so I'm going to check mark it. And now this is my new pattern. So I'm going to go back through the steps I did before. And I'm going to go to layer 1. And that's going to be the present. And I'm going to go through this kind of quickly because you've done this once, all right? I can use the pen tool, but if it's straight lines, I like to use the polygonal lasso tool, all right? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way over here, 7, 8, 9. There it is. And I just closed it off. And now I have those dancing ants. Okay. So I'm on the new color level. and I have this present here, but what I want to do is I want to unsee my present so I can just see the dancing ants by themselves. And I'm going to go ahead and pick a color. And I want to pick a color from my color scheme down here. So what I can do is I can unsee this. There's my color scheme. And I am actually going to be using this snow today. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to grab the snow. And notice as soon as I do this, it goes up in my, when I push OK, it's going to go up here in my swatches. I've already kind of played around with some colors here, and I'm going to be using these grays, and I'm going to be using these greens and these two colors today. So I already have them mostly up here in my palette because I've already played around with it. But you can kind of go through and select your palette like I talked about before and get them up there. But the first one I'm going to start is with the snow. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and see my background because it's a lot easier to fill when it's just a white background. So I've got the snow. I'm going to fill it with the paint bucket tool, and I'm going to drop that in, and there's that really light green that we're calling snow. And I'm going to deselect, Command D, deselect, and now I've got my first layer, right? So I'm going to have to see my present in order to do the next layers. Now, if you'll remember, the next layers I'm going to do are the shading. So I ended up only having 3. Top left, bottom left, top right. All right, so I'm going to start with my top left. I'm going to go ahead and get this rectangular marquee tool. I can on this one. If you had, some sort of curve, you'd have to use the pen tool. I'm going to go ahead and make my first layer there. And I want to unsee. And this is going to be on the top left. I want to unsee this. And now I'm going to start with my dark gray here. All right, that's going to be my shading tool. So I grab that dark gray. Okay. And I'm going to fill it. All right. And then remember, I'm going to change the opacity to about 30. There's my 35, okay. Command D, go up to my bottom left, and I want to see this as well, but this is what's grabbed. And I'm going to get my rectangular marquee tool again, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this area right here. Try to get even with the bottom of my present. And I'm on the right layer. I want to unsee this. I'm going to go ahead and fill with the same color, right? So here I am on the bucket. I fill that color, but this time I think I went to about a 15 or a 17, something like that. There's a 16. And then Command D. And I'm going to grab that one more time. I'm going to go up to my top right. I'm going to show my present again so I can see it. I'm going to take that. Of course, you could be using the pen tool, and you might not even have shading on yours, okay? So here we go. Now mine's a little bit off, so I'll have to deal with that later, but that's just how I'm going to deal with it, all right? I'm going to go up here and use fill. I'm going to fill with the same color, but oh, it doesn't like it. See, it won't let me fill. It's because I haven't chosen what layer to fill on. So now I'm going to fill on that. And I'm going to go ahead and change that to like my 7%, I think, somewhere around there. Let's go, half of 15 is 7 or 8, so we'll go there, right? Command D. I'm going to go ahead and see my present now, and there's all my layers, okay? So now I've got the shading done on that, and I think I'll go ahead and start my ribbon, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and make some more layers here. 1, 2, 3, and the bottom one will be big ribbon, and then my second part is going to be my shade ribbon, and this is going to be my ribbon center, You guys, this is what you've already done before. So I'm just talking you through the same steps as before, but I'm probably just going to make it in one video. All right. So here's my ribbon center. So I'm going to start with the big ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and hide these. And I'm going to show the ribbon, right? Now, this is super cool, you guys. I don't even have to use the, what do you call it? The pen tool here, because I have another tool I can use, and it's right up here. It's called the magic wand tool. All right. Now you can pick the quick select tool, but the magic wand tool is actually going to pick a shape, and it's going to be a little bit more defined than the quick select. So I'm going to take my sorry, I just said it opposite. I want you to take the quick selection tool. I have a plus and a minus. So I'm going to select. It's not selecting anything. The reason it's not selecting anything is, look, I'm on a clear layer here. So I do have to go here, and I'm going to select this color. Let's see. Maybe I need to make my brush a little bit bigger. I think I do. Let me make my brush just a little bit bigger, and that's up here once you're in the quick selection tool, right? And what it did, you guys, is it selected the whole layer up here, right? So I'm going to Command D. And now that I'm down on this present layer, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select that shape. It just selected it for me. Isn't that fabulous? Now, if I push Shift, I can come over here and select this shape and this shape. And now I have everything that I want to fill in with my lightest color. So I'm going to unsee this, and I'm going to pick my lightest color. Well, over here, I'm going to use this light gray to fill in with today. All right? So there's my light gray. Get my paint bucket, and I fill. Guess what? I didn't pick the right layer, did I? Now I can fill in with the paint bucket, and I'm going to deselect Command D. And there's a little issue right here, but I saw this before when I was practicing. It's going to be fine. All right? So now I'm going to go back down to the present, and I'm going to unsee my big ribbon, and I'm going to go for this little ribbon down here. So I have to select the present again. I'm going to pick the quick selection tool, and this time I'm just going to pick that layer. I'll tell you what I did. I just pushed it up just a little bit, and it's going to make it, it's going to be under that other layer. Right now it's on top. It's going to be under that other layer, and it'll show. All right? So I've selected that. I unsee. You got to unsee this, or you'll see some funky stuff happening there. And I'm going to go to the next color of gray. So that was my light gray. This is my medium gray. I believe it's darker. Yes, it is. Okay. And so I'm going to fill that with the paint bucket. It says, oh no, there's nothing to fill, because guess what? I forgot to pick the layer again, and this has to be seen. So I will fill that now. Got it. Command D, unsee. All right. And if you notice right up here, it's kind of a little bit foggy, but these lines are super straight because this is where I pushed it up, right? Watch what happens. First of all, I have it in the wrong layer. I have it there. But if I put the big ribbon over the top of that, then it just makes that look super straight. All right. Now, guess what else I have to fill in? Yay, my ribbon center. So I'm going to unsee these. I'm going to go back down here and see this. All right. I have to highlight this so it can choose this color. So I'm just going to go up here, do the quick select, choose the color that I want, unsee this, go to the ribbon center that I want. This is what I'm going to fill in with my, I'm actually going to pick this same color again, and I'll show you why. I'm going to pick this color again. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to fill it in. Okay, and I am going to create another layer right on top of that, and in this layer I'm going to fill it in with my dark purple. My dark purple is the one that looks black, but it's not. It's actually in the blue scheme. I'm going to fill that one in on top. So I've got the dark purple and then this one. So let me go ahead and rename that. I'm going to Command D to take off those dancing ants, and I'm just going to call this my shade for the center. So I'm labeling things as I go, right? Now, let's go ahead and see the rest of that ribbon. And this is way darker than I wanted, but remember my shade center, I'm going to change the opacity on that. Ooh, that's pretty. That's super pretty. Before I had it all the way down here, but I think I might want it a little bit more in the purple area. That's nice. Now let's turn on the rest of our present. Okay. I have a little issue right here, you guys. This is a problem, right? So I'm going to have to do something about that. And there's one of two ways I can do it. I can either change this one right here or change this one right here. If I change this one, those two are already connected. So I think I'm going to try the top right. I'm going to try this layer. Sorry, top left. I'll try this layer, right? So I'm going to go ahead and unsee everything else just so I know what I'm working with. This one right here. And I need to either make it darker or I need to make it lighter. So I can use that quick select one more time and I can grab, make sure I've got to be on that layer and grab it. Okay. And let's see if it'll let me change the opacity. And now let's see what happens. That works. I just made it just a tiny bit darker and now it works. But it's not the same color as this. That would be bad too, right? Now, I picked this kind of silvery look this time. It's still the same pattern as my last present, but it's squishied. And then I decided that I wanted to do a snowflake on this one instead of a Christmas tree. And instead of doing my own snowflake, Command D, I'm getting rid of that. Instead of doing my own snowflake, I am going to go get one online. So I'm going to go to a Google search. I already found the one I wanted, but I'm going to go to a Google search. And here's the thing. It has to be transparent, okay? And it has to be a place where they'll let you have it for free, okay? So I tried a bunch of these, and some of them you had to pay for them, or you had to give attributes. So make sure, usually clipartlibrary.com is free. And I chose a snowflake, if you choose a snowflake. I chose a snowflake that was all one color. See how it starts with blue and it goes all the way out. And there's this one right here. See how this is a shape, and 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 this is a shape. Because I want to change the color. So I went ahead and grabbed this blue one because it's all one piece, right? And I also liked this one, but I grabbed this one. And it took me to this website, and then I got to the actual snowflake, and I downloaded it. Right click, save image as blue snowy flake. Blue snowy flake. Okay, and I'm actually going to save that in my tutorials. I already have blue snowflake in there, but this one is the blue snowy flake. I'm going to get rid of this. And now I want to add this. But that blue is not going to match. And that's what I'm going to do first. So here is my present. Okay. I'm going to be adding my snowflakes underneath all the shading. So I'm going to go ahead and add a layer right above my present. Right. So I'm going to minimize this just a little bit. There we go. So here's blue snowy flake, because that's the one I used just a minute ago. And we're going to take it and just drop it on there. And, oh, okay. The reason that it's there is because it's underneath all this stuff. So I'm just going to hide all that because I don't need it right now, you guys. Oh, this is a check mark. So I'm going to check mark it right now. I'm going to hide everything here. Now, I want to make it the size that I need it. Now, if you notice right here, this has a little box in it, which means this is an object and not a, I mean, it is a PNG, but it's not something that we can do much with. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more layer here, because what I'm going to do with this particular shape is I'm going to grab it with none other than the quick selection tool. Now this layer is the only one that's showing, so I'm going to go up with the quick selection tool. Didn't quite get everything, so I want to make sure that I go all the way out. You know what? that's the magic wands tool because of the colors. I'm going to go ahead and pick quick selection, go all the way up, and it's going to select the outside of this. See that? It's selecting the outside of it. Now this one's, boy, it was a lot easier the last time I did it. Let me go back in my history. I'm going to try that again. Oh, it's because I had done the magic wand. So here I go. I'm going to go back to my new layer. Sorry about that. I've got the quick selection, not the magic wand, and I'm just going to go up to the top there, and look, it grabbed it all. Isn't that great? It grabbed it all. What's this? Some of these are grabbed and some of them aren't. So I'm actually going to push Option, that's a subtraction, and I'm going to subtract that out. Boy, it was a lot easier when I did it the last time, you guys. When I Option, it makes it a subtraction. I probably need to make it a little bit smaller. All right, let me make my brush just a little bit smaller. Okay, and I'm going to subtract that out. So Option, subtract, Option, subtract, Option, subtract. It's getting some other stuff too, but now look, I just click on it. It's doing better if I just click. Okay, this one right here, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the plus again, and I'm going to click on that, see if it takes care of that. It's a little bit iffy right there. And somewhere up here we've got some extra stuff, so that's another subtract. So Option, subtract. It really didn't take me this much time last time, you guys. Sorry. You could do this with the Christmas tree. You could do it with the holly, or you can make your own design. Okay. So there we go. All the dotted lines. Oh, this is a problem right here. So I'll add that back in. There we go. There's a little bit here, but you know what? It's going to be super small, so I'm not too worried about it. And now I don't need this anymore because I'm going to fill this, you guys. And I've determined that I'm actually going to, instead of filling it with one color, I'm going to fill it with the gradient. So I need two colors. Well, I like this dark purple. So the other color I'm going to pick is, I'm going to pick one of the greens. Okay, I've already gone through and selected all these colors, you guys, but if I wasn't sure, I could unsee this and go down here and pick a green that's in the color scheme. So, okay, now I'm going to use this gradient. I think I want the dark color in the middle, only because I've already tried this, and I'm going to gradiate it out. And look at that. Isn't that a fun snowflake? I love it. Yeah, see, there's a little problem here. I'm not going to take time to worry about that because I'm going to make this super small anyway, so it's probably not really going to show that much. And I already did it once. Here's my last present. See? I already did it once. So now I want to deselect Command D, and now this layer right here, which is above my present, okay, this layer right here has one snowflake on it. There's a couple other issues right here, but I'm not going to worry about it because I just want to get this done for you guys. I guess if I was doing this for a test grade, which is what you guys are doing it for, you might go in there and try to make that a little bit cleaner, or just make your own shape, right? You could do polka dots, you could do stripes, you can do flowers, you can do bells, you can do, you know, any kind of anything, right? So what I'm going to do is Command T for transform, and I'm going to hit this link up here, right? I'm going to click a couple times up here at the top so you know what link I'm talking about. It's this one right here. And when it's dark, then it links the shape together so that when I make it smaller, it keeps its dimension as a snowflake. If it's not linked, I told you this before, then you'll have like a stretchy snowflake or a too narrow of a snowflake. So we're not going to do that. We're going to press that link, and we want it to keep its shape. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it onto my present to get about the size that I want. And I think I'll go right here. Now, I just remember right now this is going to be under my ribbon, but I just wanted to start in a place where I could see everything. So let me make my screen just a little bit bigger so you can see everything. And this is my layer. I'm going to check mark that I like that shape. And here I go. Command C to copy. Command V, 15 or 16 or 17 of them, all right? Now I'm going to go up here and grab the moving tool, and I'm just going to start laying them out. And once I start doing this, this is super cool. It will tell me if it is lined up. Look at that. It tells me when it's lined up. So I can start lining them up. Now, I've got, whoops, Command C. I do have a ribbon that goes here in the middle, so I'm not going to worry so much about the middle. And I'm going to grab this one and move it out here, and they're lined up. And I'm going to grab this one and move it out here. It's telling me these three are lined up, but it didn't say these three are lined up, so I'm going to bring this one down, and now it's lining up with those bottom ones, right? So I'm just going to make my pattern. And I'm going to use these, and it's telling me how far apart they are from each other. Isn't that cool? I love that. You can also do a diagonal, and it'll kind of help you line those up. And now it's going to line up this next layer. And then if I get to a point where I don't have any snowflakes left, then I can make some more snowflakes here, right? So there's that. Here's this one. I'm gonna get another one. So I'm just lining these up. That's all I'm doing. And the Photoshop itself is helping me line those up. This one, these are a little bit bigger than, or these are smaller than the last ones I did. So I need a few more. I feel like I need a few more. Command C, Command T, sorry, V, right? And then I'm going to add those up here. But remember, I do have a ribbon, so I don't really need to worry about this inside part, and I'm not gonna. And I want you to know, I have this underneath. This layer, let's see where that layer is, layer 20. I just decided I'm going to do something really fun with that. I'm going to bring that all the way up to the very top. I'll deal with that later, okay? So this right here, I don't need anymore. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't really have to worry about it, okay? But I've got all these layers. You guys, those are all the snowflakes. So if I go all the way up to the top of those layers, which is a lot, and I do Shift, and it's going to put them all together, and I can put them in a folder down here. See, this is the extra. This is that's a new layer, and this is a new group. So I just group them all together. They're all in one group, and I could call them snowflakes. Let's call it snowflakes. And the cool thing about that is whatever I do to one snowflake, it'll do it to the rest of them. This, I don't know if I can move it. Oh yeah, let me move it. It just opened up that folder, right? So I don't need it anymore. And I put snowflakes down here. Now, I'm going to put all my layers back on top of this. And this layer here. And then, if you'll recall, I thought I put a layer of a snowflake on the top. I don't know if it got up there. But I think those snowflakes are a little bit dark. So first of all, I'm going to open this up because I want one of these snowflakes. Not that one. Must be one of these down here, 25. Okay, we don't see this one, so I'm going to grab this one. Layer 18. I'm going to take it out of that. Now it's not in that package anymore. I thought I already did this, but I obviously didn't. Here's this layer 18, and this is Snowflake. It's for the top, the topper. I just came up with this idea. I didn't even have it in my other design. This is the one I'm going to take all the way up to the top when it lets me. Okay, So here it is. But I want to get it all the way up to this very, very top. So now this one right here, actually I'm going to move that onto that. Oh, yeah, baby. It's a little bright, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. So here is my snowflakes, right? So if I click on that and I change the opacity of these, then they'll be a little bit more see-through. Look at that. This one right here, I think I want to make it a little see-through as well. So it just kind of blends into that center. Okay, there's my present, and there's my granddaughter saying Nana. And now I have a new present. So in order to save it, first of all, Command S. I will tell you, last time I forgot to save my Photoshop. So I didn't have all those layers to work on. And if I had all those layers to work on, all I would have to do is take the quick selection tool and just change them. But I just wasn't able to do that. So in this case, I want to save this as a PNG. But first I wanted to save it as a Photoshop document. So Mrs. P present to Photoshop document. Okay. And it has the snowflakes on the top right there. Oh, it's got snowflake on the top. Isn't that funny? It called it whatever was on the top here. That's interesting. Never seen that before. So I'm going to unsee everything down here. And now I have my clear background. And I noticed that I have a little issue right here, you guys. And if I want to deal with that, I'm going to tell you how to do it right now. I'm going to take my whole present, which is this one, and this one, like these three. Let's see. It's really my present. You guys, it's really the present that has an issue. So that's going to be easier. I'm just going to go to the present. I'm going to the rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to make a shape right there. And I'm going to delete. I'm going to make a shape right here. I'm deleting the present part, you guys. And I push delete. And if you remember, I can move this over here. And it doesn't look like there's anything to delete there. But I do think that I will delete this little section right here. So I'm just going to go down right there and push. I'm just pushing the button delete. And then I'm going to move this over here. Is it big enough? Don't think it's big enough. That might be. Let's see if we can get it there. Let's see. Delete. If there's a little bit left over here, I might just delete it again. So now I've kind of cleaned that present up a little bit. There was just a few little things hanging out there, and now they're not. If I have the white, let's see what happens when I add the white. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Command D. Now I'm going to save, and if you'll recall, the best way to save is to go up to Image, Trim, Transparent Pixels. Okay, there's my transparent pixels, and then File, Save As. And when you get to Save As, you're just going to show this from a Photoshop document to a PNG, because we've already saved it, see, as a Photoshop document. So it will also save as, because it's a save as a PNG, and it's in the same place. So I save that, and I want yes. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and just go back one step, because I want that big canvas for later, for my third present. Okay, so now I've done a tall present and a fat present, and I use the same pattern, right? I added snowflakes this time, but I could have just changed the pattern of the, I could have just changed the pattern of the color of the Christmas trees, or I could have left the Christmas trees on there. Here's a quick way of looking at that, you guys. You're gonna be like, what? Can you believe that? Look at this. grab the quick select tool and push shift. And you're going to grab all those Christmas trees. There's one right there. Let's see if it'll grab it. I might not grab that one, but I'll grab that one. So grab that, grab that, grab that. And I don't want this, you guys, so I'm going to delete that. That just didn't turn out right. But for the most part, I got all those Christmas trees, right? Guess what? Command C, make a layer at the very, actually might make a layer right by my snowflakes. So I guess I can make a layer right above this, right? I can unsee my present, and now I can pick one color to fill in. So let's fill it in with, not the same green. I don't want to use the same green, so let's pick a new color. Let's pick this dark gray. All right, so push OK, and when I fill it here, it's going to fill them all in. And now let's see the present without the snowflakes and the Christmas trees. That's so much quicker. Command, oops, I gotta take that snowflake off the top. Command D, deselect. There's my same one with the Christmas trees. Super faster. I just added that. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that one as well. So layer, image trim to the transparent file, save as, and this time I want it 2.5 because that's not my third one yet. And then I'm going to go ahead and make it, oops, I don't want it a JPEG, sorry you guys, I want it a PNG. And I'm going to save it, and I want that. And now I've got two presents. I've got one with Christmas trees, and I've got one with snowflakes, right? So there's my tutorial. So you're going to do a second present. The third present is going to be your own design, all right? Love you, miss you already. Go out and change your world for the better. Bye-bye.